I'm receiving my higher self now. I allow my higher self to direct this conversation. And I allow this conversation to channel directly through my heart chakra. And my intention for this message is that this channeled frequency is received within your heart. I can help bring clarity to your heart, bring peace to your mind, bring health to your body. That is my intention behind this message. The relationship we have now is about being comfy and cozy. It is about maintaining the status quo. The new paradigm relationship is about evoking the evolution within us. It is evoking the many dimensional aspects of us within our very Akashic record, so that we may be able to access, to connect with these other senses that are all around us, that are beyond the five senses. This is the new paradigm relationship. We are connecting through our heart, connecting through our emotions, connecting through our intellect, through our body, and connecting into the space of our many dimensional aspects of us, so that we may fall in love deeper with ourselves and create a powerful open space for our partner to join us and for us to join them in this sacred temple of love that crosses dimensions. The new paradigm relationship, it rises the many dimensions of us. We could say our past lives, rises the deep insecurity or the deep fear or the inability to let go that's deep within our psyche energy that crosses this dimension, such as this lifetime. It rises this out of us so that we can be free of the denial within ourselves. The denial, which is the inability to face our totality, our total self that is beyond our five senses. So in essence, the new paradigm relationship is though we are in this vortex, this, you could say, a shaman vortex, this vortex within our partnership that allows us to voyage into the greater definition of who we are. So no more of the relationships that are simply about being comfy, cozy, maintaining the status quo. They'll be a part of the relationship, but there'll be an exploration of these other energies that make up our total self. And that is the intimacy, the true intimacy that a lot of us, we want to experience divine love. We say that on a throat chakra level, but then we cram up within our heart. We have this doubt within our solar plexus. And then we have this intellect, these limited beliefs on what we can experience in love. But divine love is the energy, the space that opens within us where we surrender to the intimacy of the unknown, of not knowing ourself, showing up to our partner. I don't know myself. I am willing to learn. I am willing to learn. Because a lot of times we enter into relationships and our intellectual limitations on what we will experience hinders us. Our doubts with our solar root chakra, our insecurities, of rejection, of not being received, hinders us, and then our heart cramming up because of the power that is pulling us, challenging us, in essence, requiring us to let go, hinders us. So through the space of the unknown, I don't know who I am, I'm willing to redefine that space of blankness that you could say Buddha talks about, the clear, like a blank canvas, that clarity of simply allowing the unknown, allowing yourself to be transformed, allowing yourself to connect with energies that maybe are not associated with the five senses. Right there, we can energetically put ourselves in this realm of intimacy. Intimacy that is closer to the energy of being quite scared on the edge than closer to I'm comfortable. I am comfortable making love. I am comfortable having an emotional conversation with you. Because that intimacy is not a description such as can be described with the English language. It is simply sitting with your partner in this space of intimacy, face to face, you could say eye gazing into each other, and allowing that other energy, that unexplainable energy of love to elevate, to activate, to evoke this destruction within yourself of who you are, what you thought you could do, what you thought love was, so that you may experience in that destruction, you could say, everything about what you thought love is to can be completely in front of your very eyes, in your very heart, just pushed, challenged, moved away. There's a moment where you can have a release, and within that release, you can allow yourself to be in that energy, that unexplainable energy of intimacy. Intimacy that is silence, that is peace, that intimacy that triggers you, that requires you to come as this energy that is unknown, this energy that can't be explained and defined and practically analyzed, practically evaluated, doesn't necessarily have a strategy. Is as a child, is simply stepping forward when you feel that total destruction. There is this release, and within that there's this childlike energy. This door has opened where you begin to realize there is such thing as love, divine love, reciprocated love, intimacy that is in a sacred space, willing to voyage together. That does exist. It's just our fears and our projections, intellectual projections of our limited ideas of love, keeps us in this cycle of experiencing what we call the same old love. But if we can get out of that habitual pattern, if we can allow ourselves be here, to follow this unknown path, the path we call the least resistance, which is simply the path of our intuition, the energy that we can't put into a definition, into a category in our mental space, that intuition, we follow that grace, we follow that healing energy. That's what it is. We follow that healing energy. That healing energy, being in that wavelength, that current, that stream, we will find ourselves surrounded by the divine love. The divine love that can't be grasped, can't be held, that scares us. But it is there. It is there as a companion, as a friend, as a lover, to help us truly experiment with the idea of we are greater than what we think we are. That is what the divine love is trying to do on this planet. Expand our capacity to view who we are in relation to everything around us. And that intimacy is simply an activation. It is simply the integration of a healing energy, a healing energy that can truly help us to clear our karma. Our karma, which is our dimensional aspects that we've kind of denied and left in our psyche, our Sachik record. The divine love helps us to surface that denial so that we may heal that through the intimacy, which is true intimacy. The balance, the peace, the harmony is the yin-yang. The Japanese talk about the yin-yang, the Taoism, which is about the simplicity, the balance, the Lao-Tzu. Simplicity equals compassion, and compassion equals the balance and harmony. The Lao-Tzu, the Taoism, is all about the yin-yang principle. So using the yin-yang in an interpersonal relationship through the intimacy, which is allowing ourselves to be guided by the intuition instead of the intellectual limitation. I need to know the strategy, it has to fit like this, it has to move like that. We can use the yin-yang energy through the intimacy, which is the triggering, which is the activation, to heal us. That is what the masculine and feminine, when they are in true union, that's what is the product of it. The third energy. The third energy is the aura, the golden aura around the yin-yang energy that is of health, that is of freedom, really. Artistic freedom. When we think of anything that's balanced, we think of something that is artistically abundant. And that abundance is all around us, but we as a species, as the Homo sapien, we are now really resurrecting that abundance in us. Gaia is abundant. Everywhere around there's just these new visions of life being created and blossomed. But we as a species, we are reconnecting with the yin-yang principle so that we may be abundant in our abilities to be creative. And I mention creative a lot when in relation to intimacy, because that true intimacy of the trigger, the feeling the vulnerability, feeling weak as though you don't know what to do, this is confusing to you, all of this stuff is coming up and you don't know necessarily why, these ideas of yourself, you're feeling weird energy that comes up, so that we can truly step into this I trust myself energy, instead of everything needs to fit perfectly and needs to make practical, rational sense for me to trust myself, this person, this life, this direction. And that's going to require us to 100% commit ourselves to the, I don't know who I am. I am this unknown being. And that right there saying, I love, I let go, I'm willing to change, I'm willing to redefine, I'm willing to voyage into my greater growth. The greater growth. We have the status quo, the comfy and cozy, or we have the greater growth. Our soul yearns for the greater growth. Our ego has been programmed to want the comfy and cozy, but our ego is actually our lion that walks with our soul towards greater growth. It's just we've programmed our lion, our ego, our intellectual being, to kind of go with the comfy and cozy, to go to the status quo, the clone life, the cookie cutter American dream life. So the emergence of the ego, the lion, with the, you can say, the butterfly, which is our soul's energy, getting them into companionship instead of this opposing, not really working together energy, we can find ourselves truly being okay with the energy of not knowing who we are, the unknown, that vulnerability of the feeling of being weak in front of your partner, and you feel as though you don't really know what to do, you don't really know how to maneuver and navigate this relationship. And that right there is saying, I trust. I'm here because I trust, because I want to be on the path of least resistance. I want to be on the path of growth. And that's a decision that we must come to within ourselves. Our partner must come to that as well. I want to voyage into greater growth. So I'm going to leave you guys with those thoughts. I hope you enjoyed this channeled message.